In the Jurassic Park scene in the visitor center, in the Lost World scenes when the T-Rex went into the camp sleeping and reunited with its baby to let it eat Ludlow, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, how do T-Rexes in general tend to have this very unique ability to creep up on their prey? A Tyrannosaurus Rex is said to have a height of up to 15 to 20 feet, weighing anywhere from 5.5 to 10 tons. That's 11,000 to 20,000 pounds. For some perspective, on average, a semi-truck weighs 25,000 pounds, and the largest T-Rex weighed a little under that. If you take the largest land animal, an elephant, you'll notice for an 18,000 pound animal, they're pretty light walkers. The heel bones in an elephant's foot are raised up inside the foot, and they actually rest on a thick pad of fatty cartilage. They would essentially be walking on their tippy toes if it weren't for that pad, which acts like a high-heeled shoe. That pad, that acts like a pillow shoe, makes their steps quiet. Now, you may wonder, well, the T-Rex didn't have those pads on its foot. Well, according to how they're portrayed in Jurassic Park, they don't seem to. If you look at Rexy's feet, they look like just very large bird feet. But is that how they would really look? An elephant, as large as it is, and being much smaller than Rexy, needs that padding for its feet. 4 feet. Rhinos can weigh up to a little over 7,720 pounds, but on average around 3,000 to 5,000 pounds. And they need padded feet for 4 legs. Having 4 legs is a lot less stressful on joints than just 2. Yet these massive animals, much smaller than a T-Rex, need padded feet. Why do you ask? Well, if you're a runner or have ever run barefoot in your life on hard concrete, you would have experienced the impact of the full weight of your body coming smashing down on such a small surface, your heel. Heel pain is actually a very common foot problem. The painful feeling under the heel, an area known as the plantar fasciitis, comes about as a result of a lot of stress on the area. Our feet are designed to handle this kind of stress. Every time your foot touches the ground, that's the equivalent of absorbing 1.25 times your body weight. Running is double that, which is why a lot of runners suffer from plantar fasciitis, an inflammation of the heel. It makes sense that our earlier ancestors had more callous feet. You'll notice that if you continually put pressure or friction on an area of your body, in order to protect itself, it will form a hard protective layer called a callus. A callus, or a corn, is basically your skin dying and reforming itself to form a protective hard surface. In the early days of man, they didn't wear shoes, and so from a very early age, when they started walking, they started forming a hard protective surface on the bottoms of their feet, which act very much like the pads elephants and larger animals have on their feet. Animals that are bulkier and have larger mass tend to have those foot pads. A rhino is much smaller than a T-Rex and requires pads on its feet to properly support its weight. Therefore, we strongly believe that the T-Rex and larger dinosaurs might have had the same thing. It makes sense for an animal as large as a T-Rex to not only have pads on its feet to protect its joints and feet from the pressure of its weight, but also to aid it in hunting its prey. Also, when hunting and trying to get as close as possible so that she could chase her prey without having to run such a long distance, Rexy would have to be quiet. When a cat is prowling, it walks more stealthy than when it's walking regularly. Regardless of whether she was hunting or not, I really don't believe a T-Rex like Rexy would have made a stomping noise or much of a noise at all when walking in reality. I really believe that the stomping noises the T-Rex makes in the film is for dramatic effect. We may feel vibrations in the ground if it's walking normally or running, but I don't believe we would hear the loud boom boom. Just like you don't hear the loud noise when elephants are walking. Furthermore, the pads on their feet act as sound insulators. Every image I've seen of a T-Rex portrays their feet as looking like little bony vulture feet. But I doubt a creature weighing up to 10 tons in weight could support all of that mass on bony feet. That's what we came up with as to why Rexy and T-Rexes in general in the Jurassic Park franchise are able to stealthily sneak up on their prey. But of course, the other theory is that in those cases, the people who witnessed Rexy sneaking up on them were a little bit preoccupied by something they saw as more dangerous to probably even notice that Rexy was there in the first place. In the first Jurassic Park, Alan Grant and the others were focused on the velociraptors who were ready to have them for their main course. In The Lost World, when the T-Rex got into the camp, people had been sleeping. At the end of The Lost World, when Ludlow was trying to catch the baby T-Rex, he was too focused on trying to get it. In Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Owen Grady and the others were also preoccupied by trying not to lose their lives at the jaws of the Carnotaurus. Likewise, something can be augmented when people are scared. Rexy escaping from her paddock in the first film could have been more or had more of an aggrandized effect on the people watching because they were visually seeing how massive she was and thus might have had their senses very heightened because of their fear. Those are just our theories. What do you guys think? How do you think Rexy was able to be so quiet and sneaking up on her prey? Do you think she was just taking an opportunity because she knew they were distracted, or do you believe that T-Rexes might have had an extra padding on their feet as to help support their weight and muffle their movements when hunting? Let us know in the comments, and thanks again so much for watching. This has been Alteori. You ask, we answer.